my goodness.
Two Picks Central. My name is Marty Mush. I'm joined here today by Big Ev, a.k.a. the Double Vodka Don, and Chris Clemmer. In the back, joined by Meek Phil and Doogsy. How we doing, Dukes? How are you doing? Because, I mean...
Are you healthy, Dukes?
One funny thing is that Dukes didn't mention yesterday is Dayton's loss, and I was a little upset about that. I was waiting to see if you did it on your own, and you didn't, and I was a little upset by that, because you would usually let us know.
No, I did.
You mentioned it, or was that before the show when I...
No, I mentioned it. I brought up when we were talking about the ranked teams and unranked. I said it happened last night with Dayton.
Okay, you snuck it in there.
Yeah, I snuck it in
They
there.
were, but Dukes, and they had been in so many of those spots. They were due to lose one of them. Dayton's a very good team. They were in so many situational spots like that where they came through. They were due to have one off game.
And just for the record, I had that marked as a loss when the season started.
Thank God.
Because I was like going there.
I'm glad
I knew that was going to. That was the one game. That was the one game that I knew was going to be like the +2.5, +3.5, and like be that like. So I marked that as a loss.
We're gonna get to college basketball because I actually want I want you to fester on an opinion, Dukes, on Duke, by the way, because I actually want to hear yours about it because you watch a lot of college basketball. I know you do too. But we'll get to college basketball so we get more in depth to it.
I just want to break news. Tony Kemp, minor league deal with the Reds. There you go, Clemmer. You can be happy about baseball news.
That's not that doesn't even make me happy.
I do have something for you, Marty, before you get started.
Yeah.
I sent it into the group chat. Somebody in the YouTube chat just now.
I just saw it.
What?
This one here,
What?
Is it about me?
About Marty?
Yes.
Is it bad?
No.
No.
Yeah. The chat just said this.
Oh, yes. 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 So, this morning they were talking about me on WFAN again, being like, Tommy Smoke's dad texted him being like, they're talking about Marty. They said that his source, he's family friends with Snell or something like that. WFAN has been, keeps saying that I'm the guy. I'm the guy who has sources about Snell. And I do. Listen, I have real sources. I could obviously get bit in the ass, but I'm still confident. I'm just chilling. Snell's going to be a Yankee, you know?
You know, it's funny because I know you do have real sources, but I see so many of these things happen. I'm like, I mean, he's been linked to the Yankees for like 3 months. If I just like fired off a tweet like 3 months ago, just been like breaking, like he's gonna be a Yankee, and then he just becomes a Yankee, then I could just dance at everybody.
Of course you can.
And then if he doesn't go to the Yankees, I'm just like, my name's literally Double Vodka Don. I'm here trying to break baseball news, like.
But the only thing is, though,
my favorite sport.
If you ever do it, if Marty ever does it again, he's just gonna be like, and he's wrong. He's just a clown.
Yeah, this is either This is what it is. I'm either going to be an MLB insider, or I am never going to be able to be saying anything again about any source in my life.
But if you have enough followers and just tweet something like that, like breaking this news, it will get traction almost always.
Oh yeah, well, it's big news.
Even if you are the boy who cried wolf, like people will still continue to
it could be true.
Even if like it's still the people will still be like, oh, like maybe. I mean, how many times have we seen an account with like 1,500 followers do something like that? Like that's like a beat reporter for like the Jerk Off News in Idaho.
Yeah,
and they just say something and people.
It's a good newspaper though.
Yeah, great news. Shout out to the Jerk Off News in Idaho. Great work they did.
Did you see I was on with Tiki Barber yesterday?
I did. I saw the clip.
Honestly, that's all I cared about because obviously Tiki Barber is like I love Tiki Barber. I a little bit too much, but
Tiki's a weird. I like him now again. When Willie Cohn was still here. Shout out Willie, great dude. He went on his show and told like kind of his story of how the whole Giants thing went down, like at the end, because obviously he had his best years under Coughlin. Then he retired. He kind of would trash Coughlin on his way out. Then they literally won the Super Bowl the year he retired, and won literally the next season, won without him. So I always kind of was like a little bitter to Tiki, as he was like my favorite as like a little kid. He was my favorite player, him and like Shockey. And then that happened. And then as my teenage years, I was kind of like, oh, like he kind of I didn't like. Cause I will die for Tom Coughlin. So I was kind of like I didn't like that. But him kind of telling more his side, I understood it more. But I just didn't. I like Tiki now. Like me, Tiki doesn't know who I am, but we're good. We're good.
Well, that's what. So I went on there yesterday. We'll wrap this up because I know we talked about it yesterday. But I went on WFAN. They were talking about me. I was getting tweets nonstop of like they're laughing at you, all this, which is completely fine. I wasn't mad at all. It was just like it's funny. My grandpa that was all we listened to every time he picked me up from school was WFAN. So I'll always appreciate.
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
Same.
But I was on. My brother's like, "Oh my God, you're on WFAN!" Like all that shit, and I'm like, and it was funny though because I am confident. I'm not doing this as a bit. Like I understand that we do content here, but like I have two sources that I truly do believe, and they're pretty good sources. And the sources did say like, "Hey, just letting you know, like obviously, pending physicals, and things can change on a whim on deals. That's just a fact. We all know that.
Sure.
There's always that factor that someone comes out of the clouds or some change of heart, something happens. But I sources were confirming inevitably he's going to the Yankees. Did I use that word right?
Yes, you did.
You did.
And here's one thing though: if you are right about this, then like you said, you now become a guy.
Yeah, no, yeah.
And you do have people in baseball that you are friendly with.
Would you say this is one of the sources?
I would say one of the sources is very strong. The other source is okay.
Yeah. I agree with. I'm okay with that. Yes.
I would have the same assessment. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I agree with also as well. But yeah, if Blake Snell's a Yankee, Jeff Passan and Phil, you should tell your friends they better credit me.
His boy Nick.
Yeah, my friend Nick.
How does how does Lenny feel about all this?
Lenny does not believe you. I'm pretty sure.
After I gave Lenny such a credit.
No. Listen, we're gonna turn Lenny into a believer. It's all right. It's all right. I understand his skepticism.
Yeah.
Lenny's just with his fucking like foot long hero. Being like, Marty Moyes doesn't know shit.
He's still eating that second hero.
Oh,
All right. Well, if I'm right, Lenny's gonna come in and
He'll
bring that
believe you
spread here.
If he ends up with the Yankees, he'll believe you and say Marty was right.
Is Lenny a Mets or Yankees fan?
Yankees fan.
He's a Yankees
that
fan.
sucks. He should be a Mets fan.
Yeah, you should.
I like that Lenny's a Yankees fan.
Yeah,
Lenny's a Mets fan.
Lenny is like from Long Island, and he likes his sandwiches, and he should be a Mets fan. Miserable.
Yeah. And he's like said he moved out of his house, but it's just like the downstairs of the basement.
He's
like, oh boys, yeah.
His roommates.
This is my roommates are upstairs. It's his
My roommates are a pain in the ass.
They keep telling me to do chores.
My roommate's dog is so fucking annoying.
Oh fuck.
Shut up, Lenny.
Before we get into all the topics, are we allowed to do calls today or no?
I think it should be fine.
Okay, well we'll get to it at the end, but I want to first talk about the NBA last night. I have a question for everybody on the panel here. The NBA is the softest of the athletes, correct?
In terms of like their mentality, or what?
Their mentality, the way they
Dealing with the public?
dealing with the public.
Yes.
Okay.
They have to be
yeah.
the most.
They're also the most vulnerable.
Yeah, I'd say
sure.
by far.
For sure.
Yeah.
Not even
I
close.
mean, they have people right on top of them.
Actually, I don't agree with
Football players, hockey players wear helmets.
that. I think
basketball, they're on
is-
They're right there.
Basketball, they're
nowhere
on-
to hide.
they're on
They don't even
top
have
of you.
baseball. You have dugouts. There's
They're
nowhere to
on
hide.
top of
like
you.
on deck circle baseball. You're right there.
Bullpens too.
Bullpens, you're right there.
Yeah, but-
Literally right
But
there.
the whole
close. I think
game.
it's
Yeah,
close.
basketball,
The whole game. though. There's nowhere to hide.
You're inbounding a ball where a guy could literally grab and pull your jersey.
Hey, I did touch
It's seated, literally seated.
You touched what?
Jason Kidd's back once when he was inbound the ball.
Why?
The New Jersey Nets. I was a young kid, and my dad got his boss or something had courtside seats. It was like the best day of my
You're
life.
lucky he didn't treat you like his wife.
Oh, Jesus.
Did he
That
hit his
happened.
wife?
I'm sorry, Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd beat the shit out of his wife. That happened.
Allegedly.
No, that wasn't allegedly. It happened. So
I don't want to get into defending
I mean,
or not
that-
defending.
Regardless, all I did was
see it.
touch his back. All right.
He touched-
But yes, so last night Kevin Durant is running out. He is called a bitch, and I want this. I ended up being on Kevin Durant's side, but being called a bitch is the most whatever thing in the entire world. On a sport, like, I think fans can go over the line, and there is lines. I think when you're saying shit to people, like and they're at sports games, I'm fine with that. But being called a bitch is like whatever at an away game.
I think there becomes a point where I understand you hear it enough, and finally where he was in a spot where literally it's not like there was like 100 people, there was 2 people, like you knew it was them,
right?
100%, it was one of those 2 people.
It was also before the game.
Before the game, like I don't blame him at all.
Sometimes it's nice to go up to the person and be like, "What,
Yeah, no, like
these
like,
people."
The people need to be checked sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, those 2 need, and her with that goofy ass look on her face, looking like dap up. I'd be like, yo, like, fucking suck my dick. Like, what do you? Yeah, I'm a bitch now. All of a sudden, you're fucking. Now you want to like shake my hand because now the 6'10" guy's in your face. Like, what's up? Because I was like, if that was the woman, I'm about to smack the fuck out of your husband.
I mean, I don't think it was even like. I think they almost like were starstruck. Like it was like these. You have trolls. I mean, Meek Phil is a troll, and when behind the screen they can be keyboard warriors and they can be tough guys. The second that it gets real, you can see they immediately back away.
Well, the part that I don't like is, the thing that's always rumbling away about like certain fans, and it's the bottom like low percentage of fans, they treat like a Kevin Durant or someone like they're not like real people.
Right.
Like they treat him like he's like an animal at the zoo, and he can just like throw peanuts at him and just like say whatever and just get away with it, and no one's gonna care. Like no, you're gonna have no repercussions from it. Like. And the NBA is in a tough spot because someone's sitting where they're seated. They're paying a ton of money for those seats.
Right.
But that doesn't mean you get to just say whatever you want to them. But there's a line where, like, to me, if someone is, like, that blatant, they should just, like, you should basically make them leave. But then those people are probably paying thousands of dollars. But those specific seats, you're paying, like, $1,000 for those seats. You're not gonna make them leave before the game.
I don't think they should. I'm a big free speech guy, so I don't think they should be allowed to. I think you should be allowed to say whatever you want, whenever you want. But I also think you should be held to face the music.
I mean, I know that I think it was, I forget who said, maybe it was Dan or somebody a few years ago made the joke, or maybe it was PFT, like somebody that like once a year, like every player should get to fight like one fan a year. And it would just stop it. I thought that was like hilarious. But I think Katie would have used his one right there. But
you don't think
square up.
I think Katie's allowed to do what he did, but you don't think being called a bitch is like the most whatever. That's
not the point. I think the point is that I think the people in the stands, and look, I'm no innocent, flower. When I was 17, 18 going to games, I would yell shit at players too. Like I get it.
I really never did that.
I would boo the opposing player and stuff.
Booing and like saying you're a bitch or like
a bitch. I'd be like you suck, or like
But you're a bitch. I understand like where
I hope it's more creative than bitch.
Everyone's like raised differently. I could see where someone like if you're in a certain play, like people can take that it's like you're basically just trying like your manhood essentially. I know like people like words are vary for different people, what they mean, the extent of the words. But I think like someone just like I said, it was a one-on-one where it wasn't like a crowd of people where you couldn't tell who said it. It was like clearly like they said it.
Yeah,
he said it.
They said it like,
and I don't think. I guess I don't look at it like it was going to get physical, but I think he should.
No.
I think he should be allowed to go in there and be like, "What did you mean by that?"
Well, that's what I was going to say.
Why did you say that to me?
If you're going to say you're a bitch, you have to be able to back it up when he ever comes over. So when they came over, that lady.
Yeah, that's his name.
Was like so fucking funny.
Yes.
Look on her. You're a bitch, and then you're like this. It's like, why the fuck is he gonna shake your hand?
And the dude goes, "I have a sports podcast." I don't give a fuck what you want.
The fact
you
that
do or
what is he like? The brother died 4 years ago or something?
Yeah, he starts saying, he's like, "Yeah, so what?" Like,
it doesn't make any sense.
So you get to call me a bitch because your brother died 4 years ago?
That was the classic. What like a troll online does. It's like whenever someone in your DMs where they're like, "You're a fucking loser," way worse than that. To be like, "You're a fucking loser, Marty," and you'd be like, "Oh, that sounds good." Like, "I'm so sorry, I was drunk last night, and I love you. I love your guys' content." It's like that's what people do because they don't expect they don't look honestly like athletes, celebrities as human beings.
No, I read an essay.
That's what I just said. They see athletes like zoo animals.
They do, and they get to say whatever they want, and whenever they answer, like, "Oh wow, they do have feelings. That was so cool. He came up and talked to me." And it's like, you don't have to boo him. Be like, "You suck." You could say you suck.
Marty, it's okay. He has
bitch.
A
I still
about
think
sports.
Is like all right. It's not all right. It's not okay to call someone a bitch. But I'm saying. There's a lot worse things people are saying at games.
I would have respected him more if he doubled down.
Yeah, but you're a bitch.
Like if you had the balls to look him in the eye and be like, which I don't think he should do that, but
that's not what happened. So I read an essay written by a psychologist. It's person versus personality, And when you look at someone like Durant or someone who's famous, whatever, and it almost becomes like they're not people.
Yeah, they're not real.
Then
they're not real to you.
And the second Durant kind of broke that imaginary wall and confronted them, then they treated him like a person again. Like, hey, how you doing? And they didn't see anything wrong with that because it's something to do like psychologically with our brains and how we interpret media. So like you literally see their whole faces change when he confronts, and they're almost happy to see him.
Yeah, 100%.
And almost like what they did in their minds wasn't real. And that's why, like, Phil, like, you're a troll. Like, how would you have responded to this? What happened to you?
I think that one thing, I think bullpen has to be treated differently. That's the only take I have.
What do you mean?
Like, I think when it comes to the bullpen, chirps, just let them fly, but make them funny.
Yeah, but like
Like, don't be like mean and don't be a dickhead, but like when the bullpen gets chirped by the bleachers and it's funny.
Well, there's
and
nothing funny about calling someone like a bitch. Isn't
Right,
funny. That's like
exactly.
not creative.
You have to have
it's
a good-
nothing.
Like
Sure.
I think just let it fly against like legitimately the bullpen.
When
Like that's
people, like, get
that's the
mean-
funniest people to chirp I think in the
when
world.
people get like mean, like personal things at games, I'm always like, dude, why?
Yeah, and like they're with their kid.
Yeah,
I love the
yeah.
person that's with their kid.
Yes, those are the best when the trolls comment like really mean, like using probably words they should not be using, and it's just like them and their daughter in their picture.
That was a bad day for trolls yesterday, right, Phil? Would you agree?
I mean, the guy has a podcast about sports.
Yeah.
I mean,
true.
that should get him off.
But
the hook.
did that make you embarrassed to be a troll yesterday after seeing that?
I mean, I would never call a player a bitch just like that.
Well,
To his
you would do it
face.
on a computer screen.
I'd say like so and so is a bitch. I wouldn't tag them.
Oh, that's very nice of you.
I think that's fair.
Phil, who's someone that you have like definitely trolled an athlete before?
Paul George.
Paul
Who are you
George.
blocked by?
Paul George.
So if
I'm blocked by Paul George.
If Paul
Blocked
George,
by Paul George.
honestly, this is not going after you at all. I'm just curious. What would you say something to Paul George if he came in?
Yeah.
You would?
I'd say
Say hello.
I'd say I'm sorry I said break a leg back in 2015 to you.
That's
You said that. That's
Why did you say that?
hilarious, Phil.
Dukes loves it.
Break away.
I mean, I guess that one was. I was expecting something like more like
No,
malicious,
that's
I
Phil.
guess, but that's
Ev, because it's
No,
legitimately the evolution of Frank the Tank.
Yeah, I get
Yeah,
the.
Like,
it is.
You're thinking of like Meek now. Like this is Meek when he's what, like 17?
Yeah.
like,
around that.
like 17 years old, and he's like break a leg. Like that's something Frank would say.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
Frank,
that's true.
I don't.
Frank
But
would
Frank has the balls to go up someone. Like Frank would go up someone's face and say, like,
He told Blake Griffin he was basically like washed
yeah,
up.
Well,
Yeah.
he was.
Well, he said it much politer in Blake's face.
right. But he still like, didn't shy away from his opinion.
You know, yeah, he basically was like, "You're not as good as you used to."
He
be."
wouldn't be dapping up Daniel Vogelback.
Yeah, he would.
He actually did when
He
we
did.
got him.
He would.
He would. That would be
when
disappointing.
we
When we had him in here, he was
Well,
good
there's
though.
a different thing because there's things where I understand like because what are you gonna be, a dickhead to a person when you see them? Like
Well, you shouldn't be.
understand-
Maybe you shouldn't be dickheaded to all the people though. Is the
No,
point?
but like a sports guy, like he's obviously over the top of Vogelback. That's of course. But like if you're talking shit, like I'm trying to think of like if I saw Aaron Hicks, I'd be like, I wouldn't be that nice to him in person. I'd be like, I've talked a lot of shit about you. I hate Aaron Hicks.
It happened for me in like the lacrosse space that I do. Like nobody like, but I called like professional athlete like one of the most overrated players to ever win like defensive player of the year. And then he called me out. He's like hop in cage because he shoots the fastest shot like 120.
Yeah.
So then I had to be like, all right, like I'll hop in cage. Like, I didn't want to, but it was legitimately like troll meets athlete. Like
Right.
I'm boys with him now, but like there is that weird once like you meet a human and you're not like just talking about them freely on like your free form podcast. Like
No, 100%.
It
Like,
is-
it's
it's
even
weird.
like the baseball thing I did. Like that was trolling Major League Baseball. I faced them. Like I've talked shit about a lot of college basketball players, and I've talked to them, and I'm like, some of them I still didn't like. Like,
I mean, I think it's okay to say, like, if we're doing a show, like, say Jordan Lyles last year was terrible. Like, Jordan Lyles was a horrible baseball pitcher last year. But, like, I think you can criticize someone's job like that, but I think it's different when you go after them personally. And, like, this lady wasn't saying Durant was a bad player. She was calling him a bitch. That's like a personal attack for no reason.
Stephen A. was kind of said the same thing about when he was on Boston. I was actually a very good interview. I'd recommend people check it out. And he was kind of saying the same thing about the like performance versus personal. He was like, I'll always like if you stink, I'll say you stink.
Right.
He was like, now he's not gonna like call it like because he was even he didn't say names or anything, but he was like, I know like things have happened in especially in NBA with young players where like this guy there was like fucking this guy's girlfriend, the coach and whatever like all like crazy shit like that happened behind the scenes. He was like, I'm never gonna say that, and maybe even that's the reason. Maybe that's mentally why you're doing bad or for whatever reason. But he's like, if you're bad, I'm just gonna, whether we're boys or whatever, I'm gonna say like you sucked, like you were bad.
No, yeah.
And to me, obviously it's not performance based, but the only reason I said I would respect it more if they just said to his face, "You're a bitch." At least you're standing on like what you're saying.
Yeah.
Not that I don't want these guys running around like calling like players bitches. But if you're gonna call them a bitch, like stand on your
Right.
Like either stand on it or just shut the fuck up.
Like if that lady was like, "You are a bitch," like you have burners on Twitter, like you know that you do. Like
That would have been wild, but it would have been. I would have
something you're standing on your business. What
Right.
you're saying, you know. So it's like,
Drewski.
yeah. But yeah, the whole. That's why social media does suck sometimes too, because then someone sees that and they're like, "Oh, I could do that," and then they just do something stupid and it sucks. But also staying in the NBA, I saw this stat I thought was kind of crazy. Free throw attempt differential leaders in this season: Bucks plus 156, Knicks plus 160, Suns plus 181, Lakers plus 325.
Those are the 4 or 5 highest.
Those are the 4 highest.
And the differential you're saying in terms of free throws they took versus their opponents.
Against their opponents.
Right. Right. So they're getting way more calls.
They're at plus 325. The next one is the Suns at plus 181.
They have LeBron James.
It's
The Suns have Kevin Durant.
It's pretty crazy. And the Lakers are
They're like 32 and 20. They lost last night to the
30
Warriors.
and 27.
Yeah, I was say they're yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
They are the 9 seed right now.
The NBA is, I think, definitely the softest players out of all of them.
You're probably right. But I think I agree with Clemmer's sentiment. They have to take the most shit in terms of like on court shit like this.
Most precarious situation. For them.
Actually, you know what?
Because football, they don't have to get it almost at all.
And they have they
have helmets
they're
on.
Like,
You know
same
who's
with hockey
pretty soft?
too, to some extent.
Ew.
NFL, mentally.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I think that with dealing with like.
Well, they're the craziest.
Yes.
And I say that respectfully because it's just such a violent physical sport. You almost
And
have
that's
to
why I don't
like
want to
that
say
a little
soft,
bit.
like physically. They're not soft physically whatsoever. I'm saying I think when they deal with a little adversity, I think that they like. What was that one lineman that literally just threw all of his other linemen under the bus?
You're saying with Richie Incognito and all that?
No, it wasn't. It was this past. Not Richie Incognito being crazy racist or whatever he was.
Well, that was like I don't think it was racist. It was like bullying. They called it.
Bullying, yes.
But literally everyone else on the line defended him. They said the
Right.
kid that did it was just a pussy.
No, it was a lineman this year. I think it was a 49ers lineman or somebody else that just threw up one of his other linemen completely
On Twitter.
Huh?
On Twitter, but the guy took it
On
back.
Twitter.
Yeah, he said it.
Yeah,
he
he
said
took it back, but like
No,
it's just
I-
like you can't.
I think this is complicated. I think there's levels of complexity within adversity. So, like, adversity can be a number of different things to people. So, like, adversity with a football player, these guys are going into trenches. They're getting physical. It's tough. Maybe dealing with other things that we consider to be, like, a more normal adversity, they might have a difficult time with because their adversity goes more to the physical element. The other thing, too, is remember, football, 53-man rosters. Baseball is 26, so you're going to get twice as many problems on a football roster than a baseball roster. If that makes any sense, just by the numbers.
Football's way more variables, way more moving parts.
No, it's always just funny when a star player like Kevin Durant.
And I do think football is can be the hardest to decipher, like playing well and not playing well. Like I think there's a lot of like other elements and even things for example, this is like a basic one, but say like a quarterback, for example, where you see a guy say he's supposed to run like an out route, he runs an in and throws the ball outside and it just gets picked off like a pick six the other way.
Right.
And everyone's like, oh, this quarterback sucks. What a moron. But no one realizes the guy literally just totally fucked him over, ran the wrong route, and should have been a 10-yard gain on the inside. All of a sudden, there's a pick six the other way, and you're like, this quarterback's the worst guy I've ever seen. He's getting roasted on Twitter. So that's like a minor example. But I think there's a lot more of that in football than there is other sports. I think other sports are easier to decipher than football can be even, for example, like people, like the average person isn't going to give like linemen really credit.
Yeah.
No, football
They
and
would just be
hockey.
like, this guy, like he's better than this guy because he's a quarterback or he's a receiver and this guy's a tackle. But like, no, this guy is a dominant. Like you don't see a lot of people don't watch the trenches. They don't see everything that goes on, like the intricacies of the game itself.
No, football and hockey are the hardest to.
Yes, hockey. I'd say. So
Like,
I don't even.
for an average
hockey
fan.
well enough. I can't understand it like that.
I put myself in that group.
What's your take on hockey? Do you guys think that like tough guys, right?
Oh,
Tough guys, hockey players. We could agree on
Very
that.
tough.
Tough
Yes.
guys.
probably the
There
toughest.
is something that I don't know why. I love hockey. I love the hockey players. I think the personalities are probably the funniest pound for pound in the sport, like in every major sport.
Yeah.
There's something about them clamoring and being like, "We're the toughest." Where I'm
They're-
like, "All right, like, why do you have to scream you're the toughest?" Like, now I think it might be like the football players because like the football
They
players
are
don't
the
have- like,
toughest.
I think it's football.
Football is the toughest.
No,
Yes, they are.
no.
I think it's football.
But
by a
what do you
mile.
mean by toughest? Because if we want to have like throw down,
no, that's
hockey
not tough.
players are getting
That's
okay.
not
So you're
tough.
saying mental toughness.
But also, they do throw down in games and get a 5-minute penalty.
See, I'd say that they're. See, that's exactly my point. I think that like legitimately, if we're going on mental toughness, okay, they get like chirped a little bit. What do? They don't know how to keep their composure. They legitimately fight.
Well, it's in
When-
the rules. You're allowed to.
Fine, but like that would be like you're getting into someone's head. Like they lost it so much that they're taking a 5-minute penalty. Like yeah, there's a rule, but it's not like you can just fight and
I
not
think
like
they're both-
pay the price.
Obviously, they're just both.
That's what Gretzky used to say, by the way.
Very-
Gretzky would say, like, you keep your composure, you don't get the penalties.
Right. Like so that's what I'm saying. Like I'm like, all right, if you're going off mental
Yeah.
toughness, it probably football, maybe. Like, you mean you can get like penalties and shit, but like 15-yard penalty to like being out of the game for 5 minutes, it's crazy
15-yard
different.
But like 15-yard penalties, like literally like lost the Ravens against the Chiefs. You know.
But also, like to me, football, like it's
just a
honestly,
fun
I never
argument.
played.
Oh, it is. No,
I
I
never
like
played
it.
hockey, so I can't like speak to hockey.
Yeah.
But football, I just see like I played basically everything else, like football, basketball, baseball, that whatever you can say. It's a high school, whatever lower level. I still think it's relative to where you're at in your life. I just think football, it's so much more like you're just in the trenches. Like even like practices, like are so much harder. Like especially like I'm like just those are like August, like hot as hell, like 2-a-days. Like even like playing like varsity basketball, you practice like a couple hours. Like football, you go like you're literally at like for like a normal high school football team, you are there literally from like 11 in the morning to like 9 at night, like every day. In the summer, it's hot. You're sweating your balls off. You're in the conditioning, like everything, and just the battle, just the physical, just cracking skulls every fucking play. Like you see these big highlight reel hits in hockey, but they're not sitting there lining up like literally just like bashing heads literally every single play. They're just not.
Yeah, but yeah.
They get the tough reputation. I agree with Dukes that they get this like. I'm not saying they're not tough, but
No,
they
you
get
are.
like.
No, you're saying they're not tough. It's okay.
No, he's saying they're.
No, I'm saying football players are tougher, and
I don't know if they. I
They're
don't,
just like, we're tough.
I will
But you're
stand
not-
on that.
But I
I'll
don't think
stand
they.
on
I
that.
don't. I think I'm going. Hockey players are tougher.
Why? Because
Why?
one guy
No,
on the
but
team
you-
fights every 4 games.
NFL, they play it for 11 minutes.
Yeah, you know why they play for 11 minutes? Because it's way tougher.
I don't think so.
You know, they play 16
What about a guy?
games?
A
You know
guy
they play 16 games, Marty? Now it's 17 because after a game, it literally is the equivalent of getting in a violent car crash.
a guy.
Why they can play 82 hockey games? Because their ankles are sore after from skating.
Their ankles are sore.
You're
Bro,
not
they're
taking
getting their
the
teeth
punishment.
knocked out, and they're just playing right away.
But all of them are?
Yes.
No,
a lot.
no, they're not.
No.
No,
Bro,
they're
you
not.
guys are so crazy.
No, they're not.
Just because like they fight, like okay, I've been in a fight. Like I'm tough.
What do
as
you
shit.
mean? Just because they fight?
And they don't all
That doesn't make
fight.
any
The good
sense.
players don't fight.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
beat the shit out of each other.
Not really.
I don't know. I
Not the
know
way
a guy
football
named
players
Paul
do.
Bissonnette, and he was.
But yes, he was a goon.
Yeah, he's a good hockey player.
But he was a goon. Like they have literally specific guys to fight so the good players don't get penalties.
Can we like fucking call Whitney for a second, or Will or
Then on the flip
somebody?
side, then you got to call Willie Colon and you got to call Nick Mangold. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Oh, we are. What are you talking about?
But this is what's this like the
Well, I think- yeah, the hockey guys are gonna
Yeah, the hockey guys are gonna say the
football
hockey's
players
tougher.
gonna
I don't know
say
if
they're
that's gonna really
tougher.
solve. I mean, I
And
don't
what's it gonna do?
I don't know. I think to
They're
me-
both tough.
That's I fall into
That's,
that.
yeah, Marty. I'm
They're
I'm
both
allowed to say
tough as
one.
fuck.
There
No,
has to
you're
be like
allowed
a
to.
tougher.
I'm allowed to say hockey.
Sure,
too.
I think football.
But
is
no,
tougher.
hockey's tougher.
I think football is tougher.
I think
hockey's
football
tough.
guys are like make it also a very big thing that they're the toughest as well. Like you're saying.
See, no, I
I don't think they do.
Oh
don't
my
think they
God!
do.
Yes, they do,
No.
bro.
Hockey players have to literally sit
Football
there and-
guys always are like, oh, it's so fucking.
No,
fucking this.
I will say hockey guys go above.
The hockey guys like need to tell you how tough.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
see,
no one
like,
cares about
that-
hockey, so they
Yeah,
have to.
exactly.
Well, there's some of that.
What do you mean? That doesn't mean that you're not tough because no one cares about
See,
it.
I disagree with that. I think there's a point where it's like if you have to tell people how tough you are, how tough
You're not
actually
Yeah.
tough. I agree. I stand on that wholeheartedly.
No, you.
I
Guys
said, I
are-
said that about
you
Alonzo
guys
when he was
are-
like, "I'm going to put guys in the hospital." I'm like, if you're saying that, you don't do it.
Yeah, exactly.
If you were a tough guy, he would have just put the guy in the hospital. If
It
you're
goes for every
if you're that
sport.
much of a bad motherfucker, like you say,
No,
you would just
you
do
go
it.
to jail if you do that.
So then don't say I would have put him in the hospital because you won it. You
Well,
don't.
hockey guys, well, you're a
I'm talking about
fighting
Peter.
thing
I'm talking
doesn't
about that example, but I'm just saying in
Your
general.
fighting thing makes zero
Guys, can I
sense.
say
Does
something?
it? Does it? I see.
I don't
You're
think it
kinda
does.
like your mind was spinning for a little bit over there.
Nah, because it's true. Like they.
It's not true.
There's one or
It's in the rules, so they fight.
Is there a fight every game?
No,
In hockey, no.
yeah.
no,
Not
not
anymore.
every
No.
game.
Yeah.
So I just feel like
That's
they,
the worst
They're
take.
half their
Every
half their
game I've watched is a
reputation.
fight.
Half the reputation is off. They allow them to fist fight. Like they just let them.
No, dude,
That's like half
what's
the reputation.
reason why a coach gets thrown out of a basketball game?
He yells at the ref.
What's the reason why what's the reasoning behind an MLB coach getting thrown out of a game?
Call someone a cocksucker.
No, to
Yeah, calls
try
the
and get your
ump,
team.
Yeah, if you call him a cocksucker, it's automatic.
Also get your team rallying around it, like, oh, he's going to bat for our guys. That's why NHL guys.
Oh sure, no, I believe that, and I buy into that. that's totally like fine.
There's a reason
But
why.
I don't think that makes them like more or less tough.
I think the fighting has nothing to do with them being tough. I actually think that is that's not even on my mind.
It's like playing through injuries. Like NFL guys play through like insane injuries. If that's
So do hockey guys.
Sure,
Like,
sure,
guys literally
sure.
like leg was broken.
Again,
He's
yeah, because they're both really tough
I
players.
feel like we're arguing like Willie
Yeah.
Mays or Hank Aaron. Like both are tough. Both
Yeah,
are really
yeah.
tough.
Oh,
but
I think,
I've watched-
I think it's a good
Watch
argument.
Byron Leftwich literally get carried by his lineman because he was playing on a legitimate broken
Yeah.
leg.
Yeah, well, he stinks.
Oh,
Leftwich is
not
good.
then. I mean, he was in college. That was a pretty ballsy
in
thing.
college he was elite, and
Yeah.
in pros he was a very
He was fine.
he was a
competent.
good, he was a good starting quarterback.
Good is a lot. I would
No,
say
I think-
competent.
I mean, at his time in the league, he was a top 15 quarterback.
I
Like,
totally-
That's not good.
It's fine.
It's
I'd say that-
average.
I mean, but I mean, that's it. It's
It's
pretty
top
good.
10.
I totally agree with you, Ev. I think the revisionist history on Byron Leftwich is crazy.
I like Byron Leftwich.
He was fine.
Yeah.
Him and even David Girard almost. I feel like they're like this.
Yeah.
Girard was also like pretty good.
Gerard was fine.
Gerard might even have been.
Gerard had, I think, 1 year where he was.
I was gonna say, I'm
he was
gonna look at
good.
the stats. He might have been like a little.
I feel like Gerard was
higher.
Gerard,
I
yeah.
I always just loved Leftwich from the Marshall.
I liked him too.
And I remember, and then I thought he was a pretty solid quarterback. He's been a pretty good coach in the
Smart
NFL
guy.
as well.
Yeah, really smart guy.
Offensive
I mean,
coordinator.
he's someone that made the most of his abilities.
Yeah, no,
I
he-
always respect.
because he just big arm, couldn't really even with a healed leg, he was never like
Right.
very mobile, but a huge big guy,
Smart.
big arm.
Like,
Yeah, good. Yeah,
Good
no,
football
good,
IQ
for
and
sure.
yeah.
Good I thought he was a good
Mark
quarterback.
Bolden was gonna be
I always
good.
liked him.
I mean, he kind of kept the Jags kind of afloat. Like I
Yeah.
think they didn't have a lot, and he was. They like Maurice Jones.
I love when we get on guys like Byron Leftwich.
I love Byron Leftwich.
I want to know
Big
who's
Byron
today's.
Leftwich guy.
I'm thinking of this. Like, who's today's Byron Leftwich? Like a quarterback that like we think is like pretty good right now, like in the NFL, but then in 15 years we're gonna get like people saying he sucked. Like, what are we talking about? Like in the revisionist history, like
Kirk
guys.
Cousins.
No, Cousins too good.
Shut the fuck up.
Well, the game has changed so much that like Kirk Cousins will put up like way better, like bigger numbers.
Exactly.
But he's probably not like the worst. I don't think.
Uh,
I don't think he's a dead on.
Cousins
comparison.
has had a much longer career.
Cousins is better than.
I would say probably.
We're not doing this.
Who's the Byron Leftwich?
Sam
of the NFL?
Howell.
No, that's not fair.
Oh, that's not. That's
Leftwich is was a legit
yeah,
star.
Leftwich is better than.
Sam Howell's first year.
But I mean,
Yeah, but Leftwich is better than Howe.
yeah, that's
Well, you can't.
Leftwich was a starter for like a significant period of time.
For a while, it was Matt Stafford.
Nah, but Stafford.
Oh, Stafford is always better.
But Stafford was an elite talent on a
Those
bad.
takes are hard. I think what happened last night, the Durant thing rattled him.
Phyllis.
Crazy.
Fellas, your takes are horrible.
But that was
There-
that's Stafford.
Horrible.
There's
I
a
was gonna say Matt Ryan next.
Oh yeah,
MVP.
Matt Ryan for a while too.
No.
no.
he was
Matt
an
Ryan was a
MVP.
top
You know
like
who Byron Leftwich was?
Matt Ryan was like a top like 5 quarterback for a significant period of time, 5, 6, 7 at least.
Okay, so he's Brock Purdy.
No,
Yeah.
Phil.
Too early. We
Our
need guys
president
that's,
is Super
like,
Bowl.
played.
Come on,
This is tough.
Phil.
This is
I got
tough.
one.
Byron Leftwich of.
Daniel Jones.
I was thinking him actually. I was
I
thinking.
think Leftwich is more consistent.
I agree.
Well, again, but this is like
All we have
he's
is
got 15 years he played. 10 years he played. We have guys that only you only can really take a guy who's 4 or 5 years in right now.
I'm trying to think of even like
it's really not a real comp. I'm trying to think.
maybe like
Because he's so average.
He's so average, yeah.
I feel like maybe does Garoppolo work?
I was thinking the same thing.
So then Byron Leftwich stinks.
No,
I-
it's not pass
Garoppolo
fail.
doesn't stink. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, Garoppolo doesn't like stink. He's just
There's
not the best.
levels of depth, Marty, that you can talk
I
like.
understand, but Garoppolo is.
But Garoppolo's career has, and Garoppolo made it to Super Bowl. Garoppolo's career doesn't stink.
If you look at his records as a starter, it's actually like insane.
Yeah, Garoppolo's had
This is
a
the
fine
49ers.
career.
Joe Flacco.
Leftwich played 10
Flacco
years in
is
the NFL.
borderline Hall of Famer.
I was gonna say Garoppolo. I think in playoff games where he hasn't thrown a touchdown, I think he has like 4 wins doing that, which is like insane.
Yeah.
Matt Schaub.
Oh.
There you
That's
go.
not a bad comp.
Schaub, I think, was probably better, but
Yeah.
longer, but not a bad comp.
Not a bad comp.
I've also forgot that he won a Super Bowl as a
Dak
backup.
Prescott.
Or as not as a,
Oh, Phil. Oh, Phil.
Prescott's better.
I want to go run in there
I
and
hate
call you a
Prescott.
bitch, Phil.
Prescott's
At this
better.
point.
Can you
It's your worst show.
Can you put a poll out about the hockey and football? I think that's a good. People are
I think we're
already.
tweeting it.
Huh?
We're tweeting it.
Okay.
You know what? Leftwich didn't start as long as I thought.
Oh, he had a short. Yeah.
I will
Byron
walk
Leftwich
some of
was
it
not
back.
good.
But he was fine. No, he was fine.
He was good
Like,
the years that he was a
fine.
starter.
He's not good. I agree with that,
So
Mark.
he was
He's not good.
His two best
He was
years.
fine.
He was
He's like Baker.
It wasn't
He was
horrible.
8-6 and 8-3 as a starter. He had injuries.
Yeah, he had
He's Baker. He's Baker
8 and
Mayfield.
3 is good.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield.
Baker
Fine.
Mayfield. Yeah,
What?
a great quarterback that doesn't get appreciated. enough.
Oh my. Okay, that's fine. I'll take that. I'll take that. All right, let's get into because I want to take some calls soon because people are clamoring to call in on these topics. Seriously, I've gotten a bunch of DMs already. If you want to call in, you know the number because it's gonna pop up on the screen.
Stool 22.
888 stool 22.
I think it's 88.
I don't know
Stool
where
22.
the graphic is for the number.
Yeah, it's
right now.
88 Stool 22.
Okay, sounds
I
good.
think, right?
I
Is that right?
You are right.
sounds
No,
right.
it is. It is.
88 stool 22.
I did remember Leftwich being better than he was.
He was fine.
He really was only the starter for like 3 years.
Yeah, that's not a good.
It was his first
quarterback.
3. He was like solid while he played. He was solid. Solid is probably the right word. God, I remember him being. For some reason, I thought he started.
I thought he was slinging.
I thought he was he was slinging a little bit. But I thought he started like 5-6 years, not like 3.
Probably because he was when he started. You were older. Like you were starting to.
He
more,
started right away.
Oh,
Like his first year, he was like this. He was Jacksonville starter like day 1.
He also hung around forever. He was in Pittsburgh for a long time. as the
Yeah,
backup.
Atlanta for a year. Yeah, he's Pittsburgh for like 2-3 years. He was
the
the
Bucks
backup.
now.
Yeah, he's a
Yeah.
coach. Yeah, offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Bucks, right?
He was there. He won that. He won a Super Bowl.
Well, he's not there anymore.
No.
Where's he at?
I don't know where he is. I
He's
think he weirdly might be with like the Steelers in some capacity.
Byron Leftwich, 2 months younger than me.
interesting.
How about that, huh?
I mean, he threw for
Where is he?
10,000 yards in the league.
We're the same.
He won a Super Bowl as a player and a coach.
All right, call in. Let's get into a little bit of college basketball really fast. Dukes, I wanted you to fester on your Duke opinion. They're still not impressing you?
I mean, who have they beaten? The ACC's down. Like, you want to
Well,
talk about it?
who is Dayton beating then? You know, like
No,
seriously. though.
Fair.
No,
Like,
I know. Like that's what I'm saying.
Who,
Like,
but
what-
I'm just saying, it's not like they're like playing people that I'm like impressed by, where I think they're going to win the national championship.
but they're beating teams like Miami's not a good team.
no, they're not. They're not good.
I just said they're not a good team.
They're down 2 starters still.
And they're not a good team, but they're like Duke is beating the shit out of teams.
Okay, here's the thing. I think McCain's like a great shooter.
Unbelievable shooter.
Yeah, unbelievable shooter. Sincerely, nothing besides that has changed my opinion on Duke.
They're deeper.
They're good. They're a good team.
See, like, I think the whole like deep thing in college basketball is so blown out of proportion. The only time the depth comes into play is when injuries happen.
No.
One injury into a lineup, like, you don't need to be deep. Like, what do you want to do? Split up
Yes,
your
you
minutes?
do,
You want to
because-
play your 7 to 8 best players.
What do you think's the
with
one
all the
problem?
minutes.
What's the one problem with Kansas right now?
Yeah, you need like seven to
That's
7 to 8
deep.
good players.
I'm saying 7's deep. That's what I agree. You don't need 10. I'm saying
Yeah.
7 is deep in college basketball because Kansas has pound for pound maybe the best starting 5, maybe one of the worst 6-7. Agree?
Yeah, like, if I'm being honest, Marty, like I would have, if Duke was on, like, out of like the 3 seeds, Duke is one of the teams that I'd want on my side.
Okay. All right.
Like
So
I
you said
like,
he wants
That's
to.
just wrong, but it's fine.
You did your light work.
Fine. They're the same.
like if you're looking for a draw, like, yeah, Duke looks tasty right now.
I don't know why. Like they're just only proven that they've been good this year. You know, like they're 21-5.
Yeah, I think a bunch of teams have proven they're good this year. I think
Of
there's
course.
I when I close my eyes and do I picture Duke in the Final Four? No, I picture them getting knocked out in like the Sweet 16.
I think no matter what, they're Elite 8 this year.
Wow. No matter what?
Yeah.
Not no matter what. I mean,
Yeah, like, see, like,
no matter what, strong. I don't know if they're good. I don't know if they're that good.
They're
just
they're
no matter who's their
here's-
who what are their best? Give me their best like 3 wins.
and can I fester on something really quick, just about like you talking about like Dayton and mid majors playing like competition different to Duke. I think it's actually more of a problem when when good teams like Duke are playing in the ACC and the ACC is not up to par. Like, at least Dayton knows, like, all right, like, when we go into the tournament, like, we're going to be playing better teams and the mentality is, like, different. Like, if Duke's like, all right, we're beating the shit out of the teams in, like, the ACC, like, the ACC might not be what it has been in past years, but it's still better than, like, some of these teams that are coming from, like, the Midwest, Mountain West Conference in the A10. Like, I think that mentality is totally different. I think when you're a better team playing in a down year like Big 10, Big 12, ACC, it affects you more than like a team.
The ACC is getting shit on more because it's not great, obviously. I think the ACC is better than the Big 10.
Yeah, see, I think that's crazy.
I think that the Big 10 is pretty bad this year, dude.
I think that's crazy.
Weirdly,
Purdue is very good, obviously, right?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think everyone. I think everyone's hyped up the Big Ten the last few years besides this year, and then they've done bad in the tournament. I feel like this is a year where it almost like the reverse happens, where people are kind of down on the Big Ten as a conference, but then this is a year you see like a few teams actually make a run.
Dude,
maybe you see Purdue make a run. Maybe you see even like Illinois make a run.
Northwestern's
pretty good.
Dude,
yeah, but you're saying like Northwestern, right?
Minnesota even is pretty good.
Fine, but like
Minnesota's 24. There's another thing with how they're going to do the tournament, but they're like 24-4 against the spread, or 24-3 or something like that.
Yeah, but you cannot say that the Big Ten, like the best, there are two ranked teams, and like Wisconsin is like it has been.
They've had a little rough patch,
yeah,
but they're pretty good. They have a little rough.
Northwestern's the fourth best team in the Big Ten. Like, yeah, they're fine.
They're good.
No,
Northwestern's good. I would say they're pretty good.
I think that like them is like
Minnesota too. Nebraska's not bad.
That's what I'm saying. They're all
Iowa's playing good. Iowa's playing good recently. These teams that we're naming though, like the ACC in my head has like 4 good teams and that's it.
Yeah, but these are all like Duke and UNC very good.
The Big Ten
Virginia's good.
The Big Ten will get 6 to 7 teams into the tournament, and the ACC will get 4.
They're not going to get 7 Big Ten. I don't even know. I think they get 4. I think they get 5.
From all the projections,
I think they'll get at least like 6.
Yeah.
Because they'll get Purdue, they'll get Illinois, they'll get
Metrics still like Michigan State.
Duke will ACC will get 5.
They'll get a Michigan State, they'll get Wisconsin, they'll get
who's the 5th?
It's Duke, UNC, UVA. I think Clemson gets in.
Clemson probably will.
And then I think Wake is going to get it.
That'll be close.
Wake is 17-9, 9-6 in the conference.
I think Wake's a team that could make a run in the tournament.
And like Pitt has a chance to get in.
Yeah,
they're all right. They're all right.
Self-implosion happens. I think that for now, like as of today, I think the ACC has 4 teams in.
The ACC, Big Ten are down this year for sure. Big 12 is the best.
Big 12 is just so. I mean, they've just become so good. It's crazy.
SEC is second.
And the Big 12 is nuts because all the teams they added are fucking good.
Yeah.
Like Houston's good. Fucking BYU is good. Even Cincy's like solid.
Well,
who's second, SEC or Big East?
SEC.
Yeah, right. Then Big East 3.
I think.
SEC.
Let me see.
Just Arkansas's down, but I mean, I would say Bama and Auburn's good, and Kentucky's good.
Big East top fucking 3 is really
all right, so
good.
Wow, all right. According to this is like by Ken Palm's Power. Big 12, Big East, Big 10, SEC, ACC, Pac-12, and the Pac-12 and ACC, that's like a slim margin, which is shocking.
They're just top heavy.
Arizona losing. Arizona's
been kind of.
They're such a weird team.
Such a weird team.
They can be so good, and then like they just got. Even though Washington State's actually pretty good, they're ranked and are going to be ranked
I like
even higher.
Washington State.
Rico, by the way, I love that he's trying. He rides for his guys. It was funny. I was texting Big Ev last night. Like last night, the Arkansas State. He truly, if you gave him an opportunity to all expenses paid to go to Bora Bora.
Just took kind of my line, but it's all right.
No, I was giving it to you.
All right.
This is Ev. Ev said this. Ev said this. I was giving you the whole credit. I swear to God. He's what was it? Jonesboro.
I said he'd rather go to Jonesboro, Iowa, or Jonesboro, Arkansas, than go on like a tropical vacation.
Oh, absolutely.
Honestly, I can't. He's gonna get like royal treatment at Arkansas. He'd rather get royal treatment.
I'm not making fun of him.
Than go to like the Caribbean for a week, all expenses, like with his family.
If you told me that I could go to a bunch of baseball games, or like a
They have to,
Caribbean
but they have to be in like dog shit places.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, dude,
Like you don't get to go to like
Right.
you don't get to go to like Miami
LA.
or LA or something.
Yeah.
You have
You
to
don't
go
get
to
to
like
Pittsburgh.
You don't get to go to Cameron.
Oh,
either.
yeah,
but even
All right,
but
Pittsburgh's
there's no
nice,
baseballs. There's no baseball city to relate to Jonesboro,
So
Arkansas.
I am going.
Yes, there is. They're all AAA teams.
Joe-
Like you'd have to go
Oh,
watch
I wouldn't.
AAA bat.
See, I wouldn't do
baseball.
that. I was
Actually,
gonna
yeah,
say,
that's the way you have to
no,
literally.
even I'm not that
Exactly.
crazy.
Arkansas
Exactly.
State, nobody talks
You
about
get to go to like a AAA team in like in bumfuck like Indiana, but
Yeah.
you get
To be honest-
but you get to throw out the first pitch.
It might be
And you get to
double.
I
and
still
you,
wouldn't.
and you get to sit like you get to pick the seat in the house. That you
I'd
sit.
still rather be at the
Might be
island.
double A.
And they give you a t-shirt to wear.
I don't think
They give you some
anyone
beer.
knows Arkansas State.
You're right. Because Birmingham would be like AAA. Like that would be the AAA team. You need to legitimately go double A.
I don't even
Birmingham's
know
probably
how
a better city than Jonesboro.
they even got to Arkansas State. It's so hard to get to. Like,
You have to fly to Memphis. It's a different.
I know
state.
Rico's friends
Go to
with
Tennessee.
Brian. Brian's he took care of us. He's a good guy, but it's
I got one thing about going back to Duke really quick. Shout out chat. You guys are playing Wake tomorrow at Wake.
yeah.
That's Wake. That's a Wake
That's-
line. The line
That's
is
Wake. That's
I'll be
Wake.
on
That's Wake money line.
No, it's not.
I like
The line out.
You know who
Go
figured it out?
Dukes.
Dude, Forbes is a great coach. They got Hunter
is a good
Salas.
coach.
Hunter Salas from Gonzaga, who's like a top 100 guy. He's been like not like career resurrected, but he's playing way better ball at Wake than he was at Gonzaga, and he's having a hell of a fucking year.
Yeah, Wake's. I mean, they were good last year. They is. I watch. Why am I drawing a blank? Is Appleby still there? He was last year.
He last year.
The thing is, I will give about Wake. They are very good at home. They suck on the road. They
A
are
lot of splits like that in college basketball.
awful.
A lot of splits like that.
Yandel, I did ask Yandel. He said I might be biased, but hockey's definitely more tough.
Well, yeah. Oh, you asked the pro hockey player.
Shocking answer
Shocker.
from an NHL player.
Well, I'll ask Taylor Lewan. See what he.
Ask him why, because he fights.
No, Yandel doesn't fight.
Let's ask Nate Oates. I think college basketball coaches are tougher.
Wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah, true. Okay. I had something else to say here. What's this?
This is
some conference. Who can win the conference? Sprinkle.
Weirdly,
Yep.
Duke at plus money.
Really?
really.
No,
So,
no,
whoa,
no, no.
hold on, Mark.
Let me
you
ask you a
saying you
question.
like Duke here?
No, let me ask you a question. Honestly, Duke at plus money is value.
But it's the regular season champion.
Regular season
big difference.
champion.
Big difference.
They are playing UNC again at home, and the standings right now are they're tied. That's plus 160 is a great value. That's not. I understand you're gonna do. I like Duke, but
They're going to lose at Wake Forest this weekend. That's going to change some things.
maybe you want maybe Virginia 15-1 then.
There we go. It's
Okay,
it's
what
hard
about-
to trust you with Duke because you're gonna like
If
Duke no matter what.
If Virginia beats North Carolina on Saturday, they can steal it. They're 2 games back right now, and they play Duke and UNC still. How about that? 15-1 Virginia to win the ACC.
That's
And then Big 12, Kansas is kind of. I mean, Houston's
But they're
kind
just
of
not. I don't know if they're all right.
Houston's kind of running away with Big 12. They got a big matchup tomorrow with Baylor.
Who does Kansas have tomorrow?
And Kansas is plus 1,800 to win.
Kansas has.
Kansas, they've lost so many road games in comp.
Yeah, they have Texas.
And then there's just 2 more things. And then Alabama, that would be impressive if they won the conference. Like, it's for as much shit as they've gotten this year. Minus
Have they
110.
gotten shit this year?
Marty, you've been shitting on them this year.
No, I have.
I'll
I'm
tell you,
saying,
the
like,
team- the
I only
team
shit them
from-
because like Rico
Yeah.
sucks them off the entire time.
I was saying this to Duke yesterday. The team that I think, not to win the regular season because it's too far gone for that, but I think a team that can make a real run in the tournament from the SEC is I really like Florida. Florida's like been so under the radar.
You know who-
They have battled with all the best teams in the SEC on the road and have given them all hell. I think they can play anywhere. They're a lot of talent. Walter Clayton's really good. They have some good big men too. I like Florida's team.
When
a
are we
lot.
going to start talking about Coach Cal just being a
drop something, Marty.
absolute fraud, and just like he has not been a great coach.
I mean, it's always been a known thing. He's a recruiter over like X's and O's guy.
100%, but like losing to LSU on Wednesday, I understand losing sometimes happens like that, but like they've just been. Kentucky has not been Kentucky in the past.
No, they've been one of the more inconsistent. Like they've blown out some really good teams, and then have like laid some eggs to some bad teams
young.
too.
They truly are. They truly are the definition of like I could see them getting upset round one.
Or
and
win a
making
national
Or like going to like the Final Four randomly, yeah.
Right, like their offense is good enough to carry them for a couple games, but like Dillingham also, like I saw Reed shouted out, but like it is astounding how bad that man is at defense and how good he is at offense, and you can't take him off the court because he's so good at offense.
He can shoot the shit out of the ball too.
And
guys like that are so tough to coach. Kind of, they're just, when you're just such a liability, especially now how big guard play has gotten. You're basically in the spot where you almost have to guard the other player's best player a lot.
Dude, back to Alabama real fast. The reason I shit on them is because they have the talent, but if you play an ounce of defense on them, they are fucked.
So you're blaming the coaching?
Yeah, because
you think Alabama has a bad coach?
No, I don't think he's a bad coach. I think that he literally his game plan is to shoot threes. That's it. And it works. He's got a lot. Their offense scores a ton of points. But it comes to a point, if they play a Houston, if they play Tennessee, I know have they played Tennessee yet?
I can't remember.
Yeah, I think they lost to Tennessee. They play them one more time at home.
Yeah, they just play an ounce of defense. Or a little bit of an off shooting night, like it's going to be tough for them. And also Alabama does not have a big man whatsoever, so that helps.
In fairness to Rico, he's not here. How would he respond to these points you're making about NATO's?
He'd spin it somehow. He's got a great blazer, and he's a good coach. Okay. I don't think he's a bad coach.
I think he's a great coach.
I don't think he's a bad coach at all. I think that he's brought Alabama to be a top team in the past
his
4
whole
years.
His whole thing is he's like, don't take a mid-range jump shot. He's like, either get it in low, shoot layups, or take 3-point shots.
That seems pretty smart.
Yeah, he's like the mid-range shot is like the stupidest shot you can take in basketball.
He's got a 4-point line in practice. He loves threes, and I'm okay with that. But it's shown that it's sometimes it bites him in the ass when you don't play anything down low.
Yeah, but their 2-point percentage,
nothing in the paint.
Their 2-point percentage is 11th in the country. Their 3-point percentage is 14th in the country. So I don't know. I just think their offense is just like layups or 3-pointers, which I think is just like a drive and kick offense with motion.
You won last night, Clemmer.
I did.
Wow.
Congrats.
I'm now 4-20, so that's good.
Attaboy.
It's good. It's great. It's been.
Again, if you guys are just listening to this right now, we all go on the DraftKings app. God damn.
You dropped something, Marty.
Go on the DraftKings app, and the betting group is fantastic. It really is. It's cool to see how many people are on your bet. I put in a parlay today of just like a NBA players one. I hit a parlay last night plus 560, I think it was, and 100 people were on it. You can talk through it out. You can put a rat emoji on mine, a clown emoji, whatever you want. Put a middle finger emoji, whatever you want. Like right now, I put a parlay in this morning, and I have, let's see how many people are on it. We got, Big Ed putting I got 242 people on it this morning.
All right.
That's great.
That is.
Plus 611.
Yeah.
The parlay is Tobias Harris over 18.5 points. Chet Holmgren over 15.5 points. And Grayson Allen over 11 points.
All right.
Sounds nice, right?
Yeah.
Plus 611. You can see who's Big Ev has just put in 4 bets.
I put in 4 college basketball.
Bowling Green. He's got Kent State.
Fordham, Ramley.
Yeah, a bunch, and you see Fordham. All the people on it, emojis galore. It's great. So go on to the there just to see our picks. Rico sometimes does a good job of putting his explanation. Jack Mack does his explanation. Sometimes I have an explanation. Everyone does. It's great. So get on DraftKings. What is everyone's best bet today? Because my best bet last night. What's up, Dukes?
No, I just pulled this up. I was going to try to. Do you think this is a tournament team? AAC team.
I know what team. I'm pretty sure what team it is.
Minus 260 to win the conference right now.
Do I think
Just
it's a
beat
tournament
FAU.
team?
Is this South Florida?
South Florida. 20-5, I want to say that they are. And I think they have the
Yes.
coach of the year, Amir Abdur-Rahim. Like, to
Coach of
Kennesaw.
the year's locked up. It's Washington State.
It should be. I think this guy deserves to get a little bit more credit. I mean, this
For
is
sure
remember when
does.
everyone picking Kennesaw State, like, I want to say maybe last year, to upset, like the 14 to beat the 3. They were like a trendy pick, I want to say last year or 2 years ago. He turned Kennesaw State into a wagon in that conference.
Let me just ask you a
now-
question, Dukes. How bad is the losses of Central Michigan,
Awful.
Maine?
Awful.
So that's really, they might not make it because
It's tough though because there's also early like that. This run they've
Right.
been
No,
on
but they don't
since the
care.
Florida State. I know
They
it.
do,
I know
they
it
do.
does.
No,
they
no.
do and they
No.
don't.
No,
it's
they
tough.
do. They
But
do.
when it's bad
I know
teams?
I know for a fact. But granted, 2 years ago with Dayton, we lost to UMass Lowell, Lipscomb, and some other like 3 quad 4 losses back to back to back to back. And then we went into a tournament where we beat Kansas. We won it all. We beat Belmont, and they were just like that was beginning of the season losses. This team's totally different, and we were the first team out of the bubble.
Okay.
So that showed me that they don't really take into
The
account.
AAC
Lot
also
of
is pretty
bad
good.
ones. Those were
But that run since like
Yes.
basically
being
Florida State,
FAU, Florida
they basically went
State.
a run of going like 18 or like
Right,
17 and
right.
like
I think
one.
that it's more since it's back to back.
I think it's a tournament team. It's just that when they're quad 4 losses, they fucking really hurt your resume.
It's crazy. The analytics don't like love them. They're 98th in KenPom, which probably will hurt them like to get consideration. But it's just a team that like
Who's won? Houston still?
to in
KenPom gotta
yeah.
be
It's like
Houston
that-
and UConn.
Yeah, them in like UConn.
It's crazy this year because AAC could have quite a few teams, and I've seen people say like Duke's probably knows better than me, but I've seen people gas that Mountain West could get like 5-6 teams, which would be
Yeah, oh my God,
which
yeah.
is like crazy, but because they're the team that people love to fade them in the come tournament time. But I mean, from
They suck in the tournament.
yeah, but they have a lot of good teams this year.
Yeah.
What do you
A
guys
lot of
think?
good teams like San Diego State to
Utah
like Colorado
State,
State,
New Mexico.
Utah State's good, New Mexico's good. They got a bunch of teams. Nevada's even pretty good.
Now, what? Just staying on this really quick. Florida Atlantic. Are they a team that you guys think? Like, I think they might be like a bubble team at this point.
Yeah, they won last night.
They'll get it.
But they have a weird like them. Like Memphis is good. UTSA, or not UTSA.
They have bad losses.
Like SMU is not bad. Obviously, South Florida is pretty good. We just talked about. You know, I saw that. I think Ohio State is good. Dusty May is like their top target. I've seen.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
FAU is going to get in.
There's
They're-
like big talks that Dusty May, he might be the guy at Ohio State.
They are going to be the trendiest. Them and Dayton are my 2 picks for who is going to be the trendiest
But
upset picks.
FAU is a team that even though they will be trendy, I totally could see. It's not even about they made the run last year. It's that they're deep in terms of, like they have a really strong starting 5 and they all just it's the veteran. Not even that they had experience in the tournament. They're just like a veteran group of like talented players.
When they play the number 1 team in the country, they can play with them. And
That's what I'm
and
saying,
when they
and that's
play the
why
when they play the 13th seed, like if they drew like McNeese State, I don't even know what kind of seed they'll be. I think they'll probably be like a 6, but like I think that
You think McNeese will be a 6 seed? Or
no,
something?
no, sorry, I'm FAU. I'm so
Oh,
I'm
okay,
trying to think of who they
okay.
can be lined up with. But McNeese State would be like a trendy upset pick over like an FAU. I don't know. I think they're going to be definitely upsettable. You just look at those losses, like Bryant at home, Florida Gulf Coast, Charlotte on the road, UAB on the road.
Charlotte's good.
South-
That's a team. Charlotte's good, pretty good this year.
Yeah.
That's another team I was forgetting about in the AAC.
It's weird.
Let's get into our picks. But first, I gave Will Compton last night, Minnesota -3. Won by like 15. They
Gone
kind
by
of
9.
they controlled the game the entire game. It was a letdown spot. You know, it's a
They went in a run like late in the second
You
half.
fire your coach. You beat Purdue, the number 2 team in the country. It's a letdown spot. Minnesota, I have talked to people in the Big Ten. It's a very weird place to play. They deflate your balls before when you practice.
Those
They
bastards.
deflate the balls.
Cheated.
It's a barn. Literally the stadium's a barn. It's a little like above the court is above the actual seats of the place. It's weird as fuck. Things happen. I give him -3. I tweeted at him. He texted me. He's like, "Oh, you really like this play?" I explained it. Says I'm in. I had to text him that they won, or like, "Hey, we won." You know, I feel like you give someone a pick and it's a for sure winner. And he gave a good response, but I feel like I was expecting like a little more of a.
What do you want, Marty? You want
I want a little more of a praise.
Jesus Christ?
You don't think so?
I mean, I guess.
Hey, Marty, thanks. Good pick.
Sure.
What do I get when I take your picks that lose and you're like, oh, it's a friend bet and it loses?
Well, the friend
I
bet
agree.
lose money and
We're
what do I get from you? At
We're
that point?
1-0 on the friend bet.
No, I don't think we are.
We are. Duke was a 1-0. We only done a friend bet once.
I feel like I've done a lot of friend bets with you and I always lose.
You won the friend bet, the Duke one, because that would have been a whole thing. But hey, yeah, it's fun. Good.
I don't think you should do it for the things. I think you do it. You do it for the green.
What?
You do it for the green. Like you don't do it for the things. It's never been about the money. Gambling is not about the money.
No, it's
like,
not. You do it for the thanks.
No, I think you don't do gambling for the money. You legitimately just do it to be like. I think you've said this before.
I say it all the time. Yeah,
Yeah,
I do it because I'm a crazy person, and I want to say I told you so.
No, of course it is. But that's also why I'm saying when you give someone a pick, you want. I don't even care that they want. It's more like you want to be like, yeah, Marty was smart there. Like, good job. That's why you do give people picks.
You got to do it for the intuition. You got to do it for.
Well, I felt so vindicated watching. I was like, this was my best bet. I gave it. I felt so good about it. Yeah, that's one reason. Of course, the money's is a secondary. Like, thank you. You know.
Yeah.
All right, Big Ev, what's your favorite pick?
So my favorite pick, I gotta tell you because I honestly like Fridays are always tough with college basketball. Slate's not a great slate.
It's usually like a Big Ten game.
I know there's not this week. I was kind of surprised by it, but I'm going with Fordham. The Fordham Rams. Shout out to Ramley. Shout out Spider, Jack, Mac, Tommy, all the Fordham boys. They're +3 at home. This is like such a ratty rat line. They're like 10-16. They're +3 at home against like one of the better teams in the conference. It's like 17-10 or something like that. I think this is just like situationally classic home college basketball spot. Give me the Fordham Rams +3 at home.
Okay, Clemmer.
I like Shea Gilgeous-Alexander under 31.5 points. Thunder did play yesterday. Remember, he also didn't get a full All-Star break, and they're playing the Wizards tonight. It's at home. It's in Oklahoma City. Wizards are terrible. I don't see him playing a lot the second half.
All right.
So I like the use of Gilgis.
Yeah.
I like Fordham.
Me too.
I like Fordham +3 with you, Ev.
Let's go.
I think that they are like
A10 guy.
Yeah, they aren't good at home, which is weird. But they kind of played with Dayton on Saturday. Like they show fight. They show like they're always going to be like physical and tenacious on defense. So I think that's a good matchup for them against Duquesne. I like them, and then I like Cornell -2.5 against Yale at home. Ivy League is one of going to be the most intriguing races conference championship week. If you're going to tune into a conference tournament, make it that one. Yale, Cornell, and Princeton are all legit, and I have no idea who's going to win that conference.
I'm betting on a Duke player tonight.
Oh, wow. There you go, Marty.
So Trey Jones over a half a three-pointer. He hasn't hit one the last 2 games, but I feel like he's due for one tonight. It's -110.
I like that, Phil. And mine is Mount St. Mary's -1.5 against St. Peter's. I love them at home. Before we didn't go, only Bosco, by the way. Only Bosco can something happen at a game and somehow get linked back to something else. Honestly,
half-court shot.
Half-court shot. Like, that's just like...
Celebrated for
I
a
saw it.
stranger.
I didn't even think of it. I was like, fine. I was like, oh, good video. And then I saw the side by side. I'm like, he's truly the only person in the world this happens to. Like, where it just somehow finds him again.
Unbelievable.
You know? It was incredible. And also, Frank's just the king of everywhere he goes.
Yeah, just a legend.
Oh, yeah. A literal icon.
Butch Jones paying his respects.
It's incredible. He just is. He might become Red Panda. At just do halftime shows everywhere. He might.
Half the show is him just walking into half court and just.
Yeah, doing his wave.
His hat.
Yeah, with his hat. Yeah. Or his thumb up, like he gives the thumbs up.
And shoot people with t-shirt cannon.
Like point blank.
We Harvey Oswald. T-shirt.
That's a show. Monday and Tuesday will be Big Ev shows. Me and Clemmer will be in Chicago. And we'll be back next week. See you guys.